This is Marcus Bell. For 11 years, his alarm went off at 4:45. It never once got to finish ringing. A hand. Marcus Bell's 30s then, calloused even young, silences it before the second ring. He sits up in the dark. Doesn't turn on a light. Doesn't need to. He's done this before. Barks. Machinery. A younger, easier Marcus works the line alongside co-workers, laughing at something we can't hear over the noise. It wasn't always like this. Marcus had one job, a good one. 15 years on the line. The kind of job his father told him to hold on to like it was the last seat on the bus. A modest kitchen, warmly lit. Denise Bell, 30s, in a cardigan with a school lanyard still around her neck, grades papers at the table. Marcus comes in still in his plant uniform, kisses the top of her head. Denise not looking up, long one. Marcus good one. Lines ahead of quota again. Denise smiling. Don't let them hear you say that. They'll just raise it. He laughs. Behind them on the wall, a wedding photo. Comfortable. Certain. We hold on it a beat too long, a warning. Marcus sits across a desk from an HRREP, holding a manila envelope he hasn't opened yet. HRREP 11 years of seniority, Marcus. I wish I could tell you it mattered more than it did. Marcus doesn't argue. Doesn't raise his voice. Just nods once, slow, and takes the envelope. 11 years of seniority. Not quite enough. Same kitchen as scene 3. Different light. Colder now, later in the year. The phone on the counter rings. Marcus doesn't move to answer it. Stops. Starts again. By Friday the calls had already started. Amara Bell, 7, small backpack on, stands at the bottom of the stairs looking into her parents' bedroom. The closet door is open. Denise's side is empty. Bare hangers, a faint outline in the carpet where a suitcase used to sit. Marcus stands in the kitchen doorway behind her, holding a coffee mug he is not drinking from. Amara daddy. Where's mama's coat? Marcus, kneeling to her level, steady. Your mama needed some time, baby. Amara, small time for what? He doesn't have an answer that a 7-year-old should have to hold. He just pulls her into a hug instead. It would be years before Amara understood what some time really meant. Her father made sure of that. A rotating clock, graphic bridges each cut. Distribution center loading dock. Dawn. Marcus, in a reflective vest, hauls boxes onto a truck alongside other dock workers. 5 a.m. glows on a wall clock inside. Int. Marcus's car day. A phone mounted on the dash shows a delivery app. Marcus reaches back to hand a paper bag through the window to a customer. Int. Downtown office night. Empty cubicles, fluorescent lights humming. Marcus pushes a mop bucket down a long hallway alone. Midnight glows on a break room clock. 5 a.m. to 1, the loading dock. Afternoons. Deliveries. Nights 3 times a week until midnight. Cleaning offices downtown. 3 jobs. 1 reason. Marcus, exhausted, keys jingling, opens the front door. Amara, now 9, bounds down the hall in pajamas. Amara daddy, I'm home. Marcus, catching her tired smile. That's supposed to be my line. Laughs. He holds her a beat longer than the joke requires. Renee, Marcus's older sister, warm but no nonsense, stirs a pot on the stove one-handed while Amara, 9, does homework at the table, eating dinner that isn't at her own house. Renee has a phone tucked between shoulder and ear. Renee into phone. He never asks me twice, girl. I never say I mind. Beat, glancing at Amara softer. I mind. But I'd never tell him that. She hangs up, sets a plate down in front of Amara without being asked. Baby. Your daddy'll be by after his last shift. His sister Renee filled in every gap the schedule couldn't. She never once let him hear the end of that sentence. A brown paper lunch bag, opened at a school table. Inside a napkin in blue ink. Proud of you. Amara, now 12, smiles down at it like she's seen it 100 times. Yes. It's a track field day. Amara, mid-race, spots her father in the stands, still in his work boots, Doc dust on the laces, cheering louder than anyone. Int. Mount Olivet Baptist Church. Sunday. Marcus and Amara in a pew. Pastor Willis at the pulpit catches Marcus's eye and nods. Pastor Willis, from the pulpit warmly. Deacon Bell. Good to see you again this week. Marcus, mildly embarrassed, mouths not a deacon yet to Renee beside him. She just grins. Amara never saw the schedule written down. She just noticed things. The note that said the same words. The boots at every meet. The Sundays he never missed. Winter dawn. Marcus walking briskly in the cold, breath visible, toward the distribution center. No car in sight. Int. Hospitaler night. Marcus, mid-30s now, rocks a feverish Amara, 10, in a waiting room chair, doing silent math in his head, eyes on a clock. Int. Hospital room, day. Marcus's mother, frail, in a hospital bed. Marcus sits beside her on what is clearly his one day off, still in his doc vest, holding her hand. There were bad years inside the good ones. The transmission that failed. The fever that wouldn't break. The year his own mother got sick. And Sundays at the hospital got added to a schedule with no room left to give. Amara, now 16, sharp and composed, walks with her debate binder. A classmate, sharp-tongued, passes with friends. Classmate, not quite under her breath. Same 2 blazers all year. Somebody doing laundry over there? The friends laugh. Amara doesn't react outwardly. She just keeps walking, jaw tight, and turns down a different hallway than the one that leads to debate practice. Amara sits alone, not eating, staring at nothing. Her binder is closed. Stays closed for the rest of the scene. Junior year it nearly came apart. It wasn't really about the blazers. It was the fear that being poor was a kind of tell she couldn't out-argue. Miss Whitfield, debate coach, 40s, sharp and kind, sits across from Amara, who's been called in. Miss Whitfield, 2 weeks of missed practice and not one excuse. That's not like you. Amara, quiet. I've just been busy. Miss Whitfield, gently, seeing through it. Amara. You've been carrying something that isn't yours to carry alone. Let me help. Long beat. Amara's composure cracks, just slightly. Amara, barely audible. It's not the debate. Everyone can tell. I don't want them to know. Miss Whitfield, know what? That your father works himself half to death so you can be here. Beat, baby, that's not something to hide. That's the strongest argument in the room. You just haven't learned to make it yet. Rain has slicked the metal ramp. Marcus, hauling a stack of boxes, takes one wrong step. He goes down hard, boxes scattering, a sharp involuntary sound escaping him. A co-worker rushes over. Co-worker Bell. You good? Marcus, through gritted teeth, already pushing himself up. I'm good. I'm good. He is not good. He holds his side the rest of the scene, breathing shallow. Door mostly closed. Marcus, shirt off, winces as he wraps an AC bandage tight around his ribs. Alone, methodical. Clearly not his first time doing this in the last few weeks. No insurance gap he could risk. No shift he felt he could miss. He wrapped his own ribs and told his daughter he'd tweaked his back. Amara, carrying a laundry basket, pushes the door open without knocking. Marcus, mid-changing, turns too fast and winces sharply, one hand flying to his ribs. He sees it. Really sees it. The fading bruise along his side, the way his whole body flinches. Amara, daddy. Marcus, too quick. It's nothing. Tweaked my back, I told you. Amara, quiet, not buying it, not pushing either. Okay. She sets the basket down gently, like she's trying not to make any more noise in the world than necessary. Neither of them says anything else. It's the first time she understands in her body and not just her head, the size of what he's been carrying. That night, a new detail we haven't seen before. It turns on the porch light herself before bed, even though he isn't home yet. Small wordless answer. It was the first time she understood, not just in her head but in her body, the size of what he'd been carrying, alone on purpose so she wouldn't have to. Amara, 17 now, pulls a thick envelope from the mailbox. Spelman College letterhead. Her hands are shaking before she even opens it. She tears it open right there on the lawn. Scans it. Reads the words full scholarship twice to be sure. She doesn't go inside. She doesn't call anyone. She just starts running. 1 p.m. The shift change buzzer sounds. Workers file out. Marcus emerges in his reflective vest. Tired, unaware. Amara is already waiting, out of breath. Letter held out in front of her like an offering. Amara breathless. Daddy. He takes it. Reads it once. Reads it again, slower, like he doesn't trust it the first time. Then, without a word, he sits down right where he's standing, on the curb, still in his vest, and puts his head in his hands. Amara and worried, kneeling beside him. Daddy? Marcus, muffled, and we realize he's laughing and crying at once. I'm all right, baby. I'm all right. He pulls her into him, letter crumpling gently between them. He read it twice. Then he sat down right there on the curb in his work vest, and put his head in his hands. Not from sadness this time. 7 a.m. Knock. Renee lets herself in without waiting, carrying a garment bag like it's precious cargo. Renee, get up. We got somewhere to be. Marcus, still half asleep, checking a non-existent watch. Ceremony's not till 11, Renee. Renee, unzipping the bag to reveal a well-fitted suit. And you are not walking into that gym in a work shirt. Beat, quieter, sincere. This has been on layaway since March, Marcus. Let her see you dressed like the king you are. He runs a hand over the fabric. Doesn't say anything for a second. Just nods. Pack past fire code. Folding chairs line the aisles. Church fans work overtime in the June heat. Marcus sits in the third row between Renee and Terence, in a suit that fits for the first time in years, noticeably out of his usual work clothes, sitting up straighter than we've seen him all film. The gym was packed past fire code. And for the first time in longer than he could remember, Marcus Bell sat still, nowhere he needed to be but here. Principal is your class valedictorian, Amara Bell. Amara, in a Spelman blue cap and gown, steps to the podium. She finds her father's face in the crowd before she says a word. Amara, steady though her hands aren't. People ask me what discipline looks like. Beat. Discipline isn't waking up early. It's waking up early for 11 years straight, 3 jobs deep, breaking your body, and never once letting your kids see you tired enough to quit. Slow push in on Marcus. Renee's hands rise to cover her mouth. Behind them, a grandmother rocks gently, murmuring low. Amara and Daddy, finding him direct now. This diploma has your name on it too. Marcus rises out of his folding chair before he decides to. His legs simply knowing before he does. He starts toward the stage. The crowd rises with him, applause swelling. He hadn't cried since his mother's funeral. He cried now, in front of everyone, because some things you don't plan. You just feel them land. Amara comes down off the stage and straight into her father's arms, cap knocked crooked in the embrace. Both of them laughing through tears, oblivious to the crowd around them. Marcus, into her hair, quiet just for her. 11 years, baby. 11 years and you did this. Amara, we did this. Same porch light from the film's opening image. Now lit in daylight, still glowing, forgotten and left on out of habit. Marcus and Amara sit together on the front steps, her cap in his lap, both still in their good clothes. 11 years of 5 a.m. alarms. Cracked ribs he never mentioned. Quiet Sundays he never missed. All of it finally exactly what it was always going to be. Some men don't leave. They just work harder than anyone will ever know. Someone worked a third job so you could have a first chance. If this story reminded you of them, tell us who, in the comments. And if it moved you, share it with them. Stories like Marcus's are why this channel exists. If you'd like to see more of them, a like and a subscribe helps us keep telling them.